You know, Moses was one of the greatest leaders in history. He confronted Pharaoh, parted the Red Sea, and led the entire nation of Israel through the wilderness for 40 years. To so many people, he seemed absolutely irreplaceable. Then Moses died. Imagine the feeling in the camp. The people were afraid. Their journey wasn't finished. The promised land was just across the river, but their leader was gone. And this one question lingered in every heart. Who could ever lead after Moses? God's answer was Joshua. No, Joshua wasn't some stranger. He had walked right beside Moses for years, watching, learning, and serving quietly behind the scenes. He wasn't chosen because he was perfect or because he had the same charisma as Moses. He was chosen because he was faithful. God spoke to Joshua with words that still echo with power for us today. Be strong and very courageous. Think about that. Joshua was stepping into this massive, intimidating legacy, but God made something crystal clear. He was not called to copy Moses. He was called to continue the mission. Standing before the Jordan River, Joshua faced his first major test. It was his Red Sea moment. Just like the sea stood in the way for Moses, this raging river stood in the way of the promised land. But Joshua trusted God. He commanded the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant to step into the water. And the moment their feet touched the river's edge, the water stopped flowing. The path opened up. The people crossed over on dry ground. This first victory wasn't about Joshua's power. It was about his obedience. It showed the people, and maybe even Joshua himself, that the same God who was with Moses was now with him. But the challenges were far from over. Next up was the fortress city of Jericho. Its walls were high, thick, and from a human perspective, completely impossible to breach. And what were God's instructions? They made absolutely no sense by any military standard. He told them to march around the city once a day for 6 days, and on the 7th day to march around it 7 times, then shout. Can you imagine what that must have felt like? Marching in silence, day after day, with an entire enemy army watching you from the walls, probably laughing. It would have been so easy to doubt, to feel foolish, to want a more conventional battle plan. But Joshua obeyed. He led the people in this strange, quiet act of faith. And when their obedience finally met God's timing and they let out that final shout, the walls of Jericho didn't just crack, they fell down flat. Joshua's leadership teaches us such a powerful lesson. You don't honor a great legacy by trying to live in its shadow. You don't honor it by constantly comparing yourself to the person who came before you. You honor it by taking the vision they carried and moving it forward with your own unique brand of courage and faith. Joshua wasn't a clone of Moses. He was different. He was a military leader, disciplined and strategic. He stayed faithful to God's word, he led with integrity, and he consistently chose obedience over his own fear. And at the very end of his life, after leading the people to conquer the land, Joshua gathered everyone together and made one of the most powerful declarations in history. He said, "Choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve, but as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." That was his legacy, a legacy of unwavering commitment. So, what does this mean for us? Maybe you're stepping into a new role at work after a beloved manager left. Maybe you're a parent trying to build on the foundation your own parents laid. Maybe you feel like you're living in the shadow of someone great. Remember Joshua. Leadership isn't about replacing someone. It's about faithfully carrying the mission forward with strength, with humility, and with a deep trust in God. When you feel that call to continue a legacy, don't be intimidated. Be encouraged. This same God who was with those who came before you will be with you too. Be strong and courageous. Thanks so much for watching. If this story encouraged you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that inspires faith and courage. See you in the next video.